Well, I've been watching all this and hearing people talk about silica mining on Highway 58. And my thoughts were, why are they trying to do this? So why do they want to start an operation like that in a neighborhood where there's all kinds of people living? Input dust, the dust will get into their houses. The dust will be getting into their lungs, their systems. And you can't tell me it doesn't kill, because I watched him die. He was always there. Kids were always in his lap and playing with him. The nieces, the nephews, the great-nieces, the great-nephews, everybody loved Uncle Willie. At first, he was on the extruding machine where he helped pull the wet pipes out of the machine. And then he got on maintenance. Maintenance, he didn't have to be right in the, necessarily in the most dusty area. He always told me, Mom got mad when I played in the dirt, but now I get paid for for working in the dirt. He didn't know that there was going to be these side effects from working there. You don't have exactly a good job if it's going to build up in your lungs and find out that you can't breathe. He came home and he started coughing a lot, and he couldn't cough anything up. It was like it was all sitting right there, hurting him. You could just see each time he had a different x-ray how much more stuff had built up in his lungs. And he wasn't even working at the sore pipe anymore. But it just kept, and then it was packing in there and packing in there, so of course he couldn't get his air through his lungs. He talked to the doctors here and asked if they could get him into the Mayo Clinic. And he got in there and they did a biopsy on his lung. And to do a biopsy on the lung, they slice you open in your back. And they crank your rib cage apart. And they took several samples of his lungs, and the report came back that it was silicosis from the clay pits out by Goodhue. The silica in the clay was causing his silicosis. You know, we had a good life until he found out he had problems. It was the last year and a half that he had to use oxygen, and it was getting tougher and tougher to... That summer was a hot one like it has been this year. He'd sit in his boxer underwear in front of the TV, and he could barely catch his breath or breathe. And he'd be sitting with the machine right there with him. It's not fun to watch. He used to love to garden. He couldn't go outside. He was more or less trapped in the house. His mind was perfect until his last breath. Everybody thought it was safe at this Red Ring sore pipe, and it was not. Dust is dust. If it gets into the lungs, it has no way to get out of there. And it kills. And no money that these rich oil people think they have should take away somebody else's life. Isn't somebody's life or more people's lives worth more than money?